Welcome, everyone. My name is Marina Antunes, Festival Director for Spark Animation, and I want to welcome you to this entry into our Meet the Filmmaker series. Meet the Filmmakers is a series where we speak to filmmakers whose films have been selected into the festival. I am really pleased to be introducing this video from Yegane Moghaddam, the director of Our Uniform. Not only was Our Uniform selected to this year's Spark Animation, but it was also awarded a Diversity Prize. Here is Yegane talking about our film.
Hello, Spark Animation. Thanks for having me here. I'm going to read these questions one by one and answer to them so that you know which question I'm answering. So, when did you fall in love with animation? I think it's not difficult to fall in love with animation, and we all share this common experience that when we were a child, we probably watched a cartoon that we really liked and we wanted to know how it's made. So, I went to university to study animation, and the more I was introduced to different techniques and different possibilities of the world of animation, I think the more I fell in love with this technique. Where did the idea of Our Uniform come from? I used to teach at a secondary school, girls' school, and I used to observe the students, how they were struggling with their uniforms and their headscarves the whole day. And I was able to watch so many funny moments during my time. So that's the moment which it sparkled to me that maybe I can make a film about our uniform and represent this thing that we are experiencing every day, but other people in the world, they may not know how it feels. So let's make a film about it. The idea of using clothing as a way to express ourselves is universal. Was this something you were thinking about when you first developed the project? When I first developed this project, I was mainly focused on this local uniform that we wear, which is exclusive to our own culture. It was important for me to introduce it to the rest of the world because I knew that it is something which is not very common. Probably it only happens here inside Iran, but I think part of me was also thinking about that universal aspect of clothing as a way to express ourselves, how we use different colors, different textures, maybe to express different emotions when we are wearing something. So I think I somehow used it in the film when the atmosphere of the film is somehow gray and not very colorful, and it's trying to communicate how the school uniforms in Iran are maybe impacting our lives and impacting our feelings. Did your original concept for the story change over the course of the production? Yes, at the beginning, this film was supposed to have a storyline, a beginning, probably a climax, and an ending, like a classical three-part story. But the more I developed, the more it changed, and the final product was something more like a documentary. I think the whole story changed a lot during the production, but at the end, I was happy with the final result. Where did the idea to use fabric come from? This idea was with me from the very beginning because I knew that I'm going to represent a uniform and how it feels to wear it every day. So I wanted the world of my animation to be made of this fabric and this substance. So from the very first draft version of the film, the very tests that I made, I used the fabric as the background and applied different styles of illustration on that to see how it looks. But it was always part of the visuals of the film. How long was the production? The whole production was about 6 months. Half of it was spent on the pre-production, and the other half was spent on producing the film, filming the clothes, and doing the animation and all the other stages of making the film. What was the biggest challenge? I would say the biggest challenge of this film was finding enthusiastic people to cooperate and be part of this film. Some people, after they learned about the topic of the story, they somehow decided not to be part of it. And I had to make the film single-handedly. It was very difficult to do some parts that I was not really expertised in, such as the sound design or putting the music on the film. And I'm not really proud of the final result regarding the sound and the music of the film, because I think it has a bit of amateur feeling in it. And it's because it was done by me. But the other aspects of the film, I was supported by my father as the producer of the film, and he was really helpful during this project. Your father worked on this project with you, and what was his role, and how was it to work with him? Yes, as I said, the father was my producer. He helped me with my equipment. He's a very creative individual. He helped me with building the kind of tripods that I was looking for, because I wanted to take pictures from the clothes from a very high angle, top angle. So it was a bit difficult to use a normal tripod. He helped me design one that was useful, and also with the location of the film and where I stayed during making of the film. He helped me to find all these necessary equipment. With our uniform, we approached a political story. How was it to find the balance in not pushing too much and also telling what you want to say? That's right. This topic is a very serious topic in Iran. It is safe to approach it with maybe some humor and some soft tone, not be very explicit, and try to put the message in the underlying layers of the film. That's what I did. I think the biggest thing that helped me was the use of maybe humor and some slapstick animation, since it was what I used to make it more approachable and make it less sensitive. And as I said, this political message is put in the underlying layer of the film. So for some people, maybe it is difficult to read the second line. That's where I put the message so that those people who have enough knowledge to read animation can also get the most out of the film and realize what it's trying to say. What has been the biggest surprise through the entire process? So the film is not really high budgeted. I think I used what I really had, all the equipments and all the materials that was in hand. I just used them. Very, very low budgeted film. But at the same time, I learned a lot during the process. There were so many times that I improvised while I was working in a shot. Something occurred to me and I decided to go in a different direction. And I realized that you don't really have to be very prepared to start making a film. Maybe you can just start with whatever you have. And during the course of the project, many surprises can happen to you. Many new ideas can occur to you. And also a lot of improvisation was involved in making this film. Did you imagine your film would be this universally appealing? No, it was a very big surprise for me to find that the film is recognized in different events and different festivals. I was very, very surprised because in this film, I'm talking about a very unique cultural experience that is maybe very far from most of the people in the world. Somehow very unusual and a very foreign thing to think about. I didn't expect people to empathize with the characters of the film and with this story, but actually the opposite happened. And I got a very good feedback from usually the audience. They liked it. That surprised me the most. How important is it for you to keep telling socially impactful stories? I think at this moment in my life, it is really important for me to talk about my lived experience as a girl in Iran, how we experienced it, and all the different stories that can happen. Maybe at this moment in my life, I like to tell the stories because they are still very fresh. There are so many memories that they are ready to be told. And it is the best time to tell them. And I usually am interested to know about different cultures and different social things that are happening all around the world. So talking about these issues is interesting for me. What's next for you? Right now, I'm working on my next project, which is like a sequel, let's say, to this film. It is also talking about another aspect of being a girl. Maybe this time the topic is even more controversial. And regarding the animation technique, I'm also trying to explore many, many different things in animation, because that's really what I enjoyed the most during the making of the film. But still, the film is very low budgeted, and I'm not looking for something big. I'm looking for something more, let's say, unique and different. So thank you very much for having me. I'm really honored to be part of Spark Animation. It is such a beautiful and unique event, and I'm happy to be participating in this film festival. I really have to thank you for all the effort and all the time. Wish you all the best and good luck.